Hey guys, Steven here again. Let me actually readjust this a little bit just because I think I'm covering up the microphone. I think that's good. Hey Atomic! Atomic is back over here. He's trying to steal the show, but he had his show yesterday. There we go. I think that's better. So, I didn't think I was going to make a video today. I thought I was just going to leave it with where it was at, but I don't know. I enjoy making videos. I'm not so good at it necessarily, and I was gone for so long I lost a lot of my audience. Not so what? God gives me an audience. I'll live in obedience. But that's not going to stop me from doing my work. So, back out here with a cup of coffee today. Ever since starting my new job, I don't get to drink coffee very often because I wake up at about 5:30 to get ready for work in the mornings, and I don't, right now, because my schedule is ever changing, right now I don't get back until about 6 o'clock, and when I get back, I take care of the dog and I help my wife with all the house chores and whatnot, especially when she's not feeling well. That takes up a good chunk of time. And since I have to be up at 5:30 again the next day, it's not really the best idea to risk staying up real late, so I only really drink coffee on the weekends. And it had been a while since I'd made coffee for myself. It had actually been, I think, maybe a good 2 weeks since I last made myself a healthy serving of coffee. And I realized something when I took the first sip just a little bit ago. There's something so rewarding about enjoying the fruits of your own labor. Like, for example, with coffee. I can drink somebody else's coffee and it be good, but there's something very unique about drinking the coffee you make yourself. Because you know what it's going to taste like. You know what you have to do to get it there. And it takes the effort, the time, and there's steps to the process. One of the things that I really enjoy is I love the process of course, grinding the beans into grounds, and then seeing them as I pour them into the filter. For some reason, that's just a very enjoyable part of the process for me. Because I get to look at the grounds, I get to smell them as I'm pouring them from one container into the other. I don't know, there's just something real rewarding about that, and on top of that, you get an excitement for how it tastes. You get to smell it beforehand. It's something that you get to accomplish with your own hands. I think that's true across the board with a lot of things. I think that's true with enjoying spending the money that you make. A lot of people are not good with their spending habits. I'm a Dave Ramsey guy myself, so I'm well aware from all of the calls that I listen to Dave answer. A lot of people dig themselves big holes with their spending habits, and they actually spend more than they can make, which means basically you're trying to get out of a hole by digging further down. Which is not a good idea. I'm stuck in this hole in America, so I'm just going to dig down until I reach Turkey. Doesn't really do much for you. It also got me thinking. Coffee as a whole, and especially like black coffee, and I'm being stereotypical here, but I mean, we all live our lives stereotypically. Black coffee is kind of considered a more masculine thing. It has a strong flavor to it. It's not really sweet or candied or anything. No flavorings, just black coffee. Cigar smoking. I've spent part of my morning watching a interview between Steven Crowder and Dennis Prager, where they just talk about cigars. It's the most awesome thing ever. You got a comedian who does a lot of political comedy, and you have a political commentator and political radio host Dennis Prager, both of which spend the majority of their time talking about other things, they take a 37-minute segment just to talk about cigars. There's something inherently masculine about cigar smoking. And maybe it's just because that's what people of our culture have done. Then you start to think about it a little bit and you realize both of those things really aren't very popular anymore. We're in the age of Starbucks, where the latte and the mocha cappuccino and other candied drinks are far more popular than, say, a good old black cup of coffee. And anybody who knows Starbucks coffee knows that Starbucks black coffee sucks. It's terrible. It's bad coffee. My philosophy is, if you can't say that a cup of coffee is good without anything in it, it's not good coffee. That's just the end of the story. It's one of the primary ingredients in whatever it is you're going to make. You want to make a good cappuccino? Start with good coffee. How do you make good coffee? Start with clean water. So get yourself a Brita filter, use bottled water or something like that. And the more I think about it, the more I realize, like, the good things in culture and the good things in our lives take effort. I've been telling you guys, I've been reading a book called Sacred Marriage by Gary Thomas. And it's a beautiful book about God's view of marriage. And pretty much every chapter emphasizes the point that a good, strong, healthy marriage requires work. It requires effort. It requires sacrifice. Every good thing requires effort. And of course, yesterday I made a video. About how possibly there's this idea that work as we know it was not present in the sinless Garden of Eden. That doesn't mean it went without effort, though, because God did give a task. It wasn't grueling, sweaty effort, as would go away, flies. I mean, I'm not using the coffee grounds, but whatever. Go away. It's not this grueling, sweaty effort that we see after the fall, but there was a task given. There was a task given to be the heads over creation, Adam and Eve, to be the heads over the creation and everything on it. It's God's task given. He created, and He gives stewardship to Adam and Eve. That requires effort. A good cup of coffee requires effort. Sure, you can throw it in a coffee pot and just let it drip down, a good old drip coffee. That's the good stuff, right? I mean, sure, if you got good coffee and good water, of course it's going to taste good. But it's not as rewarding as taking the time and the effort to grind the beans to the appropriate grain size and to get your water at just the right temperature, bring it to a boil, let it sit a moment, let it settle so you don't scorch the beans, give it a pour, a little bit of a pour, no matter what you're doing, give it a pour just so it starts to foam up, then let it wait about 30 seconds, and then continue to pour the rest in. It takes time and effort to make something good. This YouTube channel, I didn't put a lot of time and effort in the past year, so I have to live with the consequence of that. I have to live with the fact that I've lost a lot of my subscriber base. They're still subscribed, but that doesn't mean that they're active. That's just the way it is. So I have to start fresh again. Hello, Atomic. Taking care of a dog requires a lot of effort. Hello, bub. Hello. You want to say hello again? He's about to knock it over. Good boy. Hey, buddy. Every good thing that we have requires an effort of some kind. And if you're not willing to give that effort, you shouldn't have the good thing. And I think that that's a biblical approach. I think probably one of one of the, if not the most applicational book in the entire Bible is Ecclesiastes, because it deals with not only the ultimate reality of everything is meaningless except for this, to love God and obey His commands. I believe I'm quoting correct, and that's at the very end of the passage, but also this idea of everything is meaningless. It deals with this deeper philosophy about the world. And I said, no. But it also deals with some very practical things. It's good for man to enjoy the fruit of his labor. It's a good thing. I don't know. Take some time and read Ecclesiastes. Might find that the way that you look at the world changes a little bit. I know it does for me. Anyways, that's all I really got. Coffee is good. Work hard for the things you love. And no matter what happens, be content in the Lord. That's the best I can tell you right now. A lot of ramblings, but whatever. See ya.